Welcome to the 334th episode of the So Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today we are recording on April 29th, 2023. My name is Brad Galloway. I'm the editor of GameCritics.com, and I'm also 50% of this here show. With me is the man who's got a serious case of Saturday Night Fever, Carlos Rodella.
I'm not as rockin' as Saturday Night Fever, though. It's like a chill Saturday night.
I mean, that's okay, too. You can still groove a little bit. You don't have to be out on the dance floor to feel the vibe.
Oh,
you know?
Okay, yeah. In that case, I have a very chill Saturday Night Fever vibe going on.
It's just, it is. Maybe it could be a mild chill and not a fever at all. Saturday night, mild chill. That's a thing.
Nice. Wait, just Saturday night, like mild cold.
Yeah, like
you don't have
cold.
a full fever.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just the Saturday night sniffles or something like that.
Wait, Saturday Night Cold is a pretty good name for the podcast.
It's not too bad.
We'll see if we get a better one.
See what happens, folks. We are here doing a podcast. Just a little peek behind the curtain. We're actually recording a day before our usual day. Because of life. And this is also going to be a somewhat shorter show than normal. I ended up cutting the agenda in half because weird things happened with life today. Ended up being slightly busier than expected. And also tomorrow, which is our normal recording day, I am not available because I will be doing the Logitech G Adaptive Esports kickoff for the new season that they're doing for Rocket League. So I will be doing the sign language interpreting for that. I'm happy to support and provide accessibility for all of the deaf and hard of hearing Rocket League fans out there. So if you want to see yours truly loud and proud out in force live doing that stuff, you can catch that. If you see the ASL channel on the Logitech G Adaptive Esports show happening. Oh shoot! By the time I say this, you're not gonna know about that. I guess you can go back and YouTube it.
Yeah,
you can YouTube it though.
You can
YouTube it. Yeah, it's not gonna be live, but you'll YouTube it. It'll seem like I'm live. Just pretend like I'm live.
Yeah.
But anyway, you can find it on YouTube. Doing that tomorrow. So that's why we're recording today, and that's why our show is short, because life.
All right. On top of that, we have a embargo, so the podcast is going out late, even if we're doing it early.
That is very true. I didn't even realize that until you said it. We are doing the podcast super early. And you're exactly right, sir. We're going to be putting it out a little bit late in order to come out right after that embargo drops on May 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific. So we'll get to that game. It's the last game of the show. You'll know what we're talking about. It's a big one coming up very, very soon. But in the meantime, we've got some housekeeping. Folks, you know that Carlos and I share a virtual living space divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. That's right. It's housekeeping. Carlos, sir, what you got?
I have a few things, a couple boxes. I did get rid of the pizza box, if you noticed.
I did notice. Thank you very much. Although the shape of where it was is still there because that grease kind of seeped into the carpet. I'm very, very upset about that.
Yeah, the grease does that. And also there's like a ring of dust around the box where the box was, too.
Pretty gross, yeah. So it's almost like the box is still with us in spirit.
It is. It's a ghost of a box. That's a good podcast name, too.
Ghost of a box is a pretty good one, too.
Well, that's better than Saturday Night Cold.
I think so.
So first off, Danny O'Dwyer, friend of the show, friend of me, and also creator of No Clip, which is an amazing show and documentary series on YouTube, as well as Patreon. He is actually finally, like I was talking to you about how I really want to get into games at some point and actually making them. He's working on publishing games now.
Oh, what's it going to be called? No Clip Publishing or something?
Yeah, I think it's just that. But their first game is already like that he's helping publish. Is on Steam and you can wishlist it. And I've been following his like little clips of it for a while. Again, he's not developing and he's publishing it, but it's called Stunt Derby, and it's like using physics, and it feels like the old school like hard driving or race driving car games.
Okay,
but third perspective, you know, like Mario Kart or something.
Yeah.
But they're all like using physics and stuff, and so it's just really fun and weird and crazy shit happens.
Must be making bank if he's getting into publishing.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how much it costs to help, put that game out. But either way, I'm excited that he's doing that, and I just want to tell people about it. So check it out. It's called Stunt Derby. It's on Steam, and you can wishlist it. And it's a physics-based racing game, which I just love that concept already.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If his publishing is even half as successful as his videos, dude's going to be doing well.
Oh, yeah. And he knows games. Again, like I said, I think a lot of us who've worked in games for so long should, to partake of it if we want to.
Yeah.
A lot of ideas and learnings, that go into that. So
absolutely.
check it out. Also, another friend of the show, John from Gaming in the Wild, he tweeted recently about struggling with DLC, and I just thought that'd be a really quick topic we could cover.
I missed that. What did he say?
He said, I have the quote. I often struggle with DLC. It can be tough to recover the flow in a game I played ages ago, or even, in my opinion, months ago.
Oh, dude, we just talked about this.
Did we? You and I?
Yeah, remember we talked about, okay, well, not just, but I mean, time is like a circle or whatever. Remember we talked about Elden Ring DLC, and I'm like, oh, yeah, right. I haven't touched it in a year. Don't remember my character. Don't remember the buttons. And it's going to be post-game difficulty, so it's going to be like balls hard.
Right.
You know? Remember we talked about that like a couple episodes ago?
Yeah. Again, time is weird because I don't think it was 2 episodes ago. I think it was like a month and a half ago.
20 episodes ago?
Yeah.
Who knows?
He continues and says, sometimes it's the best stuff in the whole game, and the muscle memory comes back instantly. And he used a couple of examples. Control. Remember, I think I went back to the Control DLC.
I did too, and I struggled with it.
Yeah. So it can be either one, hit or miss. And so he's like, what games have been your favorite DLC? And just that whole topic. I think, like you said, we both are that same way where it's like frustrating or struggling to get back into the muscle memory or gameplay of it. But also like just, the world and the story part. You're like, wait, what was it? What was I caring about?
Yeah, it's tough because, I mean, that's kind of one reason why if there's a game that I'm not 100% on fire to play, like if I'm like, oh, I want to play that, but I'm not like dying to play it, you know me, dude, I'll wait 6 months for like the DLC to come out and like I'll do the whole thing in one fell swoop.
Right.
And that's the best, you know? I mean, I think man, you know, it's kind of, I'm trying to think of like the DLC for Neo and Neo 2, those, by the time those came out, I was out. And Neo is such a hard game. Like if you're not in it, you know, trying to come back to it, especially with post-game difficulty, is like impossible. Same thing for like most of the Dark Souls. I mean, I did all the Dark Souls or Souls series DLC, but with a varying degree of success. It's like the further away it is, the worse I did, honestly.
The ones I just recently thought of when I saw that tweet that I think have been easiest for me is Other Worlds. Is it? Outer Worlds. Sorry.
Outer Worlds. Yeah.
I think that DLC was pretty quick behind it, right? When I beat it. I'm not talking about the one that just re-released with all that.
No, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
but it was just like one of the ones, like a murder mystery or something, and it came out. I feel like 6 months after or something.
Yeah,
and I instantly knew what all the characters were, and I've been playing the combat, so it was really fun. The other, any Bethesda game, like those, like especially a Skyrim or Fallout or anything like that. Like if the DLC happens, I'm like, doesn't matter. I'm instantly back. And I don't know, for some reason, those feel very easy for me to jump back into.
Yeah.
And also, both of us, I can say, Blood and Wine was one of our favorite DLCs. And again, I think it came out not too long after the campaign.
Man, it's hard to say. I do not remember. Although I do know that I don't think I played Witcher 3 right at the beginning. I think I got to it a little bit later. So
okay.
It's hard to say. It's all lost to the mists of memory. But I mean, for me, it's like, it really depends, right? And it kind of is like this kind of inverse sliding scale where it's like the more complicated the game and the more difficult it is, then it's the harder to get into it. But if it's something that is just like a bonus add-on and the mechanics are not too complicated and it's not this super twisty story, then it's better. But I think in general, I really struggle. And honestly, it's funny you say that because Graveyard Keeper, which we talked about last episode, is finally complete. I think they added 4 or 5 DLCs, and I never finished that game. And I knew there was more DLC coming, so I kind of was like, okay to put it aside. But now I'm going to just come back, and I've forgotten everything. I'm going to start a fresh game and just do all the DLC. So my best approach is start the fuck over and just go from the beginning and play the DLC that way. So that doesn't work for everybody, though. No way.
It's tricky though. It's a good topic, and hopefully people on this podcast discuss about it. Leave in the comments what your thoughts are. I will say one more thing though. Similarly, I really enjoyed going back to Mass Effect because again, leave all the ridiculous comments. But I didn't beat it when it originally came out, the third one, right?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And so when that trilogy came out and it was remastered, and it really did feel better. It felt like the way I remembered it, playing. Instead of clunky. It was just awesome to play the whole thing through because those connecting threads were there,
Yeah, that's got to be the best way, dude, because I love Mass Effect. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And I played those DLCs as they dropped, and it felt so random and disconnected, and some of the DLCs were terrible and some of them were great, and it was like this really weird patchwork experience. And then you got the big party that kind of like went back in time, and so it kind of messed with your head a little bit, and just everything. I would love to go to it fresh and just go through it like you did.
I know,
all the way through. That would be absolutely the best experience.
It was incredible. Like, I can't even believe I did it, because that must have taken a long time. Holy shit.
A long time for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I probably kept talking about it on this podcast. Go back and watch the episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's that. And then one other small box was looking for it. Can't find it. Wait, is that the only boxes I have? Oh, the fact that Frambo is, Frambo is coming out on console.
Is it one word or two words?
Two words.
Two words.
Frambo.
B-O-W. Okay.
It's one of my favorite developers ever, called Killmoney Games. They made Little Misfortune, one of my favorite games of all time. That's, by the way, on a top 10 list. I don't know if we've ever discussed that, but for me, that's like
pretty high praise.
It is. It's easily, because it's my type of humor. I can play right now. I could play it after this podcast. I've already beat the whole game. I know exactly what happens. I would still start laughing, and no video game makes me laugh. Like, you know what I mean? We talk about comedy and games being hard.
So tough to do.
They instantly make me laugh. That little girl falling down and swearing, and oh my goodness. So Frambo is much darker, as I was showing you. It was their first game, and it's been, remastered in a little bit. It looks pretty similar to the same graphics, but it's on console, it's on Switch, it's on the, my PlayStation, which I'm going to check it out on. I think it's on Xbox as well. And I think it's just a really cool time to go back and revisit it, because it is darker than it is funny. Little Misfortune's funnier than it is dark, right? So they're kind of polar opposites that way.
Sure.
But there's still that twinge of humor and the just absurdity, and you just kind of let yourself go on a weird ride, which is like being in a weird world. If you like the vibe of Cult of the Lamb,
yeah,
it's that same kind of vibe. It's like, whoa, that's pretty fucking dark. Like, they just sacrifice somebody, even though it's a lamb. It's that vibe, right? It's like,
gotcha.
The little girl is trying to figure out what happened to her parents. It's pretty horrific. No spoilers, but at the same time, there's these weird characters that she like meets along the way, and they're kind of really nice and weird. And so I just tell people to check it out, because I can't not do that, because I love them so much. Frambo.
Well, right on. It's funny you say that, because you talked about it a lot. I remembered you talking about it, and when I saw it pop up, I think I got an email saying that it was now on the Switch or something. So I'll definitely check that out. I know you spoke really, really highly of it. And speaking of games that we could go back to, I did go back to one recently. We haven't done our sexy show. We don't talk about porn games all that much. But I did go back to Max Gentleman's Sexy Business.
Oh, yeah.
On PC. Yeah, I was somebody had sent me a code for another adult-oriented game that I ended up not really liking, so I'm not going to talk about it on the show. And I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well play something else, because I'm my PC. And man, Max Gentleman's Sexy Business is just like the best game. I love the gameplay. Like, it is a good game just as a game. It's a good, solid game. Clicker gameplay. Graphics are great. The writing is just really funny. Like, speaking of funny games, it is really genuinely like laugh out. There's multiple times when I like do this like little bark of a laugh when they catch me off guard with something, and I'm like, this shit is really fucking clever. The art is really good, and it's got the perfect ratio of actual gameplay to seeing naked people. Like, they got the cadence of it is perfect. You're like, it's just enough gameplay, and by the time you're getting tired of gameplay, you're like, oh, there's some boobs. And then you don't want to get too much, because then it kind of like loses its luster, right? And you're like, okay, back to the gameplay. And actually, oh, I like this game. This is pretty fun. I'm making some progress. Oh, there's some boobs. Okay, cool. And like, you go back and forth. Like, they just nailed it so hard, dude. And I went back, and the nice surprise was they did a ton of DLC to it. They added one whole new campaign at the end. They added a bunch of like new little mini games. They added a bunch of new costumes. I was just like surprised at how much new stuff there was. And I beat it like 2 or 3 times when I played it the first time, because you could just go through it pretty quickly if you want to. So it's great. I love it. I think it's really a really excellent game. It's also a great adult-oriented game. You can also turn all that stuff off if you want to. It can just be a game if you would like it to be. And I just can't say enough good things about it. I wish this developer great success. I hope they do something else, because they've really got a talent for it. So anyway, Max Gentleman.
That's also a DLC that you went back to.
Yeah, that one is. Okay, so good point. That is one, and it was so well integrated. But I will say, before I hit the DLC, I went back and played the basic campaign, because I'm like, I don't remember the buttons, I don't remember what I'm doing. Played the basic campaign. Oh shit, okay, I remember this. Yeah, no problem. And then once I got back in the groove, then you go back and do the thing. I didn't just jump straight into the DLC.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, couple things just real quick from me. Shout out to Thorsten Busch, who is in Switzerland. Longtime friend of Game Critics, friend of the show, listener. Sent us an email and said, hey, there's a book that says, it's called The Video Game Industry Does Not Exist, Why We Should Think Beyond Commercial Game Production. And he thought this would be of great interest to me and to you. Sent me this. I believe I sent you the link in DM. I'm pretty sure I did.
You did. I don't think I looked at it like an idiot.
Well, you can look at it later. I didn't read the whole thing. I just skimmed it. I didn't have time to read a book, but I will. I got it put aside. I'm going to check it out. And it's written by Brendan Keogh, who I actually know, who's a great guy. He's on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that Brendan wrote this book. I feel like a bad friend now because I mean, he's a smart dude. He like teaches university or some shit like that. Like he's a brilliant brainiac guy, makes games and everything. I can't keep up with Brendan. His output is too smart and too prolific for me, right? But I know Brendan, he's a good guy. So I'm going to check out this book, and I want to give a big thanks to Thorsten for sending this in. The Video Game Industry Does Not Exist by Brendan Keogh. You can find it at MIT Press, and I will be cracking into that when I have time. It'll probably be 2 pages at a time because I have such limited time, but I will check it out. So thank you very much, Thorsten. Yes.
Thank you. And I will, is that on Amazon? Amazon, right?
Is it on there? Okay, cool. Excellent.
Well, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Oh, he said MIT Press. I don't know if it's on Amazon
okay.
or not, but
I'll look it up because, I mean, I've been like wanting a good video game book, So
yeah. Well,
check it out.
Probably learn something. Brendan's a pretty sharp guy, so
all right.
There you go. And this has nothing to do with anything. I just needed to get this off my chest because okay, so like I sell stuff on eBay once in a while. This is not video game related. If you don't care, jump ahead 2 minutes, right? I've been selling stuff on eBay, like some of my old toys, some of my old collectibles, like whatever, making some extra money. And I sold this thing on eBay. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm gonna intentionally leave it blank because I'm not trying to call anybody out here.
Okay.
But I sold this thing. It was a brand new toy in a box that had not been opened. It was brand new, right? I had saved it for like 25 fucking years, hadn't opened it. Sold it on eBay. I took pictures of it, description. I gave the exact title. You could see exactly what it was. Some guys bought it. Cool, thank you. And I was having trouble selling it. I even gave him a discount, right? Sold it. Didn't hear from the guy. Nothing. I moved on with my life. Like I'm living my life. 1 full month later, he emails me back and he's like, number one, his tone was incredibly like accusatory and argumentative. And he's like, I'm about to give you bad feedback because this is a piece of junk toy and you hoodwink me into buying this. And this thing is not nearly as flexible as it's supposed to be. I can't get him in the poses that I want him to get. He's not nearly as buff as this thing should be. And I don't like what this is like. And I feel like this is like a waste of my money. And I can't believe you sold this to me. And I'm giving you bad feedback.
Oh no.
And I'm like, he caught me like in the middle of doing something. And I email him back real quick. And I'm like, hey pal, hold your fucking horses. I don't think you understand how this works because you bought a brand new toy in a sealed box. That's on you. I told you, you clearly could see what it was. And how do you trick anybody into buying anything on eBay? You either buy it or you don't. I can't force you to buy it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you bought this, you opened it, you played with it for a month before you decided all of a sudden it was not good. And now you want me to like give you a full refund and apologize because I somehow tricked you into buying a toy that you had full agency in choosing and tracking down and buying? I'm like, no, bitch. You better not give me that bad feedback or I'm going to come after your ass. And then he comes after me like, don't you threaten me. How dare you? I'm the customer. You're supposed to apologize to me. And I can't believe you did this. You gave me this piece of shit toy and you're just tricking me. You're probably some kind of fucking Democrat. And I'm like,
what? It got political all of a sudden. Okay, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
And then that's all I need to say because that's exactly how that went down. I ended up being like, look, bro, you do what you're going to do. But if you do this, I guarantee you, I will hound you to the ends of the earth through the eBay system. Don't do it. But that thinking that he displayed really knocked me for a loop, dude, because that thinking process was broken in like 16 different ways. And for him to come at me, I mean, clearly like an eBay troll, maybe he gets a boner from just like being an asshole to people online or something. But like to wrap the whole thing up, like lunacy after lunacy, and to wrap it up with like, you're a fucking Democrat. Like,
oh boy,
Jesus H. Christ, this world we live in, my friend, I don't even know what to fucking do with it.
Well, weirdly enough, that doesn't surprise me. I don't know what that means about me or the state of the world.
That you're a realist, probably.
Yeah, but I'm usually the weird, like, head in the sky guy. and not very real about things. I don't know. I just think that specifically, and this kind of relates to something that I'll actually transition into in a minute. If you're done with that,
Yeah.
him,
Yeah. No, I'm done.
he who shall not be named,
Yes.
like Voldemort, who also should not be named, but I just named
Is
him.
that what you said?
Damn it. Is I'm used to comments on my videos, and so what I'll transition in a minute is some of the comments on my first A Lot of Things podcast TikTok that I just did. So I think I told you last episode that I rebooted that podcast. I'm just going to do like 15, 20 minutes. I talk about things, anything that I didn't talk about in this show, basically. A ton of content that I'm into and other rants, etc. But so I put up my first video, and immediately it's like, just like you're saying with this guy, there's one comment that I go, oh, how did they even arrive at that comment?
Right.
I don't even know what universe they're in.
Yeah.
Like, there was a bunch of support too, and they're like, oh yeah, we totally feel the same way about, it was on Dead Island.
Okay.
Too. And, my thoughts on the leveling system and how I thought it was kind of ridiculous and it shouldn't even be in there. And it's so funny, things that me and you talk about all the time on this show, the minute they go in front of TikTok, it's like, it's, game on for comments because everybody's there right now. And so anyways, a lot of comments were like on the same thought of we both had about it and stuff. And then just so many comments were like, holy fucking shit, insanity, also like rude, right?
Yeah.
And so when you bring up this guy, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like 5 people that left the first comment on videos. And so, it's not surprising at all to me.
Well, this eBay guy is probably on TikTok. Who knows?
He's probably, yeah. Well, again, it's the anonymity. Nope. Anonymity? Anonymous nature.
You got me doing it too.
I know.
Anonymous
nature
when you don't
of the
say
internet.
your name online. Yeah, exactly.
And that's always been a problem. That's a # tangent. And then when you have that, and it's just Joe Schmo or Jane Schmaine on any platform,
yes,
they're going to say whatever they want. They're going to be like, you're the worst person, whatever. So, okay.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But I want to bring up one thing with the Dead Island 2 comments because, and I have a new video going up tonight. I've just basically like cut up all these little sections from my show, and we definitely could do it with our podcast, and just to see what people say. And, again, I have thick skin because I've been doing this for years. But one of the comments was, a lot of them were about, we'll just get good, right? That thing.
Yeah, sure.
Like, oh, you don't like hard games, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And one of them, I'm just really proud of my comment. It was, again, probably a child. So no offense, kid. But like, oh, you only like kid games. Like literally straight up said that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you must only like kid games then. And so I replied, I'm like, oh, you're totally right. I actually only like exclusively play kid games. And then my number one favorite game is Paw Patrol. So, like, I just have fun with it. Like, to me, it's like I'm like gonna shit on them back.
I went the total other way with it, dude. Like, you said, that guy was probably saying, "Oh, you don't like hard things," and then I was thinking like, "Oh, not like your mom does," or something like that. So,
see, I went
the other way.
I won't do that.
You could go that direction. You didn't go that direction.
I go the direction of either like killing them with kindness, which I do, and it usually wins.
Yes.
I know you think that we're opposite that way, but like I have so many times in comments won the day by being like, oh, actually, blah, 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 and like being kind of nice.
I believe it. When you're not taking the bait, it pisses them off, and they fuck off and do something
then they
else.
kind of like get defended, or their defense is down, and they're like, well, I kind of didn't really mean that, but like I see your, like I got one guy to say like, I see your point, and I was like, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. But anyway, so check it out. Things that we talk about in this show will probably arrive there some days. But anywho, let's move on to games.
That's all we got. Housekeeping's over. Let's get on to the main portion of this abbreviated episode. Carlos, the game is called Zell, X-E-L, and I know nothing about it. So please tell us all about Zell.
I saw it on PlayStation. It popped up there. I just told you before the show that I just realized it was on Steam in 2022. But it just showed up as a new game, in quotes.
Sure.
And so, like I think you were saying, like to console players, lots of times it is a new game.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've never seen it on Steam. So it just looked interesting because it's, top-down isometric action-adventure game. You play as a woman, and she is an explorer on a planet. She's got amnesia, of course. She crash lands on a planet. She's got amnesia. Video
you hit
games.
your head when you land every single time, and of course, it's not much of a game if you know what you're doing. So.
If you crash a spaceship, you're going to have amnesia. All right?
Guaranteed. It is a guaranteed side effect of crashing a ship.
The reason I played this game is I do a lot of this often. Actually, I do this almost every week. If I see reviewers or anybody say this game is mediocre, it doesn't do anything new, which is funny because I already hear like your thoughts on this, but like it's average, whatever. If they say it's middling in any way or like kind of like middle of the road, I like it. A game doesn't have to like wow me. Like it could be really good at what it does, and I can have a fine time with it. So I think that's just like that's a weird thing to give a review because it's like I don't know. Sometimes you're in the mood for a certain type of game. We talk about that on the show all the time. I was in the mood for top-down view, run around, hit things, action adventure, light leveling, right? Light
This
leveling.
is a very specific thing that you were after. This almost feels like I'm reading someone's like Tinder profile or something where it's
nice.
like you've got like you're very specific. This is what I want.
Yes,
You know?
yes. I'm ethically non-monogamous.
Yeah.
I
like light leveling.
pansexual.
No
Wait.
roguelike elements.
Wait, I know. I need to do those, but in game ways. Oh,
This is a skit for you, dude. You should do
that's
this
a
skit.
good
This is a skit. Write that
Yeah.
down. Yeah, do a skit.
Ethically non-roguelike.
Yeah, oh yeah. See, you got to mix
Yeah,
them
yeah,
up.
yeah,
like
yeah.
mix them
Mix
up like
them up.
that. Yeah. Easy. Good skit.
Ooh,
Good
this
skit.
is good. Okay. Anywho, I wanted that, right? So I just was kind of in the mood for that. And newsflash, it's not bad.
Okay.
And I guess I'm saying is that a middling review, middle of the review score doesn't mean don't play it. I think it could just fit the bill. And so for me, it did. What you do is you run around on a planet. You are leveling up lightly. You're smashing robots and monsters or whatever. You're uncovering a secret on this planet, and you're trying to figure out about yourself. That's kind of the main game.
Okay.
And you obviously get power ups. You get different ways to handle puzzles. There's light puzzles. It's nothing crazy. I really like the dodge. That goes a long way with me.
That's important. That's key.
It feels just good to hit things and dodge and move. And also there's like a time mechanic. So later on in the game, there's actually a mechanic about seeing the place in a different time zone, right? Like
okay.
at a different era, and then you're coming back to it and stuff like that. And all the battles feel fun, and nothing feels too out of place. There's a shield at some point, and it was really easy to use it. Like I used it with like right trigger or something, and I never use a shield. And it's one of those shields where it's like twin stick shooter, like you can aim it.
Oh, nice. Okay, sure.
Yeah, which feels really good. So everything about the playability feels good. It's simple, and it's nothing to write home about, which is fine. That's like my review.
Well, I mean, I think that's totally fine if if that's what you're in the mood for. If you're in the mood for one of those, it sounds like one of those. And if that's what you want, like sometimes, I said this before, sometimes you just want like a regular ass burger. You don't want anything.
Yes, this
you
is a
don't
regular
want
ass burger.
Yeah, you don't want the onion straws. You don't want like the tuna fillet or nothing. You don't want the brioche bun. You want a regular bun. You just want a regular burger. And if that's what you're in the mood for, then that's what you want at that time. That's kind of sounding like what Zell is. It's like if you want this formula, if you want Carlos's Tinder profile, this is what it delivers, and there you go.
This is one of my profiles. I have multiple profiles because
different names, different profile
different
picture.
names, different profiles, and they're all like one of them is like first person and whatever. But like this one is someone I just saw in a review on Steam said it's close to like was it the Legend of Zelda series, the Legend of Zelda series. Well, it's interesting because there is a lot of green and like foresty areas, and then there's cyber and robot stuff too.
Well, listen to the name of it though, Zell. It's like half of Zelda. Zell. Is that his reference?
No, it's XEL, but
well, that's what I mean. Like the sound of it though. Like
I wonder. I don't know.
Zell.
I don't know.
Maybe it's an homage or something.
I don't know. Maybe. Also, there is the fact that it's sci-fi in any way, I'm just down, right? So it's like robots and stuff like that. What's the other thing about it? I'm trying to read some other thing I missed. Yeah, just the time puzzles were really interesting. But it's not about that. It's just about the fact that, I was just going to say that there is parrying, but you don't have to do it.
Good. Bonus parrying, no problem.
Bonus
Required
parrying
is a problem.
Yeah, I'm dodging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I'm using my shield, or I'm just finding an inventive way around it. I just feel like so far I haven't had to like really use it, and so it just feels like a fun, relaxing game. I recommend it.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. If you want Zell, if you're in the mood for that thing, kind of the equivalent of the video game comfort burger, there you go.
There it is.
That's not a bad thing.
Nope.
All right, let me talk for a minute about Stranded Alien Dawn. This just came out, I think, this week. I've been kind of having my eye on it for a while because I really want to get into a game where you kind of like build a community, kind of build your town, fend off wildlife and stuff, But also, much like you, I have my own Tinder profile, and when it comes to these kind of things, I want to have like a story. I want to have some characters. I want to have purpose. I want to have clearly defined goals. I want the UI to be simple. I want a certain level of things that are tailored to exactly my taste. Because there's a lot of these games where you can just like get dropped on an alien world and like build from like a God view perspective.
Right.
Tons of menus. I mean, especially on PC, there's like a whole jillion of them.
Oh yeah.
But there's a specific flavor I'm looking for, and this one looked very much like it was going to be checking off my boxes.
And I sent it to you. Remember? I think I don't know if I was the first one who told you about it, but.
Oh,
yeah.
That's right. That's right. Okay, I didn't really. Okay, yes,
it's the same game. Yeah.
Yes, it is the same game. Okay, so Stranded Alien Dawn, like I said, top-down view, God view. I'm sure this started on PC. It must have. It feels like very much like a PC game.
I'll look it up. I'm sure. Yeah.
But they've done a lot of work with the menus and the UI. So basically, you take a group of survivors. The survivors all have personality, certain skills, likes, dislikes, that whole thing. Like maybe one person likes to farm, one person hates it, one person's great with a rifle, one person is hopeless with a rifle, etc., that kind of thing. There's 3 scenarios. In the opening scenario, you crash land on the planet with a pod, and you have to survive. Like it's like literally you get dropped on the planet. Okay, survive. But before we get to that, there are over an hour of tutorials before you get into the game, and the game is like, dude, for real, we really recommend you play the tutorials first. And I'm like, so sometimes when a game tells you that, they'll say, do the tutorial first, and it's separate like on a menu. But also, they'll tell you to do the tutorial, but then also when you start the campaign, the tutorial's in the campaign. You know what I mean? Like sometimes
right.
I don't want to do the tutorial twice. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do it over here outside. Literally more than an hour of really in-depth tutorials. Some of them were kind of buggy. I had some difficulty with some of them. I felt like there were some glitches going on, but I got through the tutorials. I'm like, okay, this seems pretty cool. Building fences, harvesting alien bug meat and roasting it, and like managing your people, telling them to rest, and like, I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like I dig this. This is kind of what I'm in the mood for. Got through like the hour plus of tutorial, got into the campaign. And it ended up being exactly the kind of game that I didn't want, because
what?
You just get dropped in. There's no story, no direction. It's literally like, here are all the tools at your disposal. Now survive. Do whatever you want. Just survive. And I'm like,
just do stuff.
Just do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a sandbox. And like, to be fair, it's really deep. There's tons of stuff you can do. All sorts of stuff you can manage. Like you can tan your own fucking leather, and you can cook recipes, and you can manage your people's sleep schedule. Like, and it's all done pretty well, where I feel like the menus are pretty good. I mean, they're not perfect. They could be improved, but like I was having no problem navigating the menus. I'm like, this all makes sense to me. I feel like it's pretty good UI wise, et cetera, but it's just like, just do whatever. And I can't,
Wait,
Carlos.
but I have a question. Like,
yeah.
So that sounds similar to Dwarf Fortress, which I think you don't like.
I don't like, no.
And it's where you just kind of like watch the world like play out. But in that game, to its credit, it has a lot of very unique stories that just play out, which are weird because like they have like a dwarf or whatever gets drunk, and then he goes and does thing, and he
like
blows
the
up
weird emergent
gameplay. Yes,
yeah.
Blows up the bar or something. So, like, is that kind of stuff that happens here, or no? It seems like,
I mean, maybe it's kind of like your colonist Sally. She doesn't really like to work too much, and sometimes you'll catch her daydreaming and not doing her job or something. Okay, like whatever, that's fine. But it's not like it's not like emergent. But I mean, it's cool in one way because the people will do their thing. Like, you don't need to super micromanage them. You can if you want to, but otherwise you can give them kind of broad strokes. Like, okay, you guys need to chop down these trees, go do that. And they'll kind of just like manage it on their own, which is kind of cool, which is another reason why I thought this might be the game for me, because I don't like to do super micromanagement. I like to do more of the broad stroke stuff, like build a house over here, plant some corn over here, and then you guys figure it out. Just go get it done. Like I'm kind of like the boss guy giving the orders, and they can work out the details. I really needed a story, and I feel like this game would have really benefited from taking the tutorials and integrating them into the campaign. Like, for example, you crash land, one guy says to the other guy, oh, snap, we should probably build a shelter. Yeah, man, I agree. And then they teach you to build a shelter while you're doing it in the campaign. That way it kind of makes more sense. You learn it organically. It also ties you to the characters because you're going through the struggle of the characters at the same time. And plus you get ownership of them. Like you feel like, oh yeah, these are the guys I crashed with and we've been working so hard and we've come so far. You know, it kind of builds a rapport between you and your characters. Just getting dropped in and just being like, here's all the tools at your disposal. Survive. That's not fun to me.
Yeah.
So I bounced like almost immediately, dude.
Well, interesting turn of events there. And also, I'll say, I'm looking on Steam, and it's calling it V1, and they have a roadmap of content.
Oh, do they? Is there a story at any point?
I don't see the stories. I see Tame and Train about the animals. I see Sow and Sell, Military Outpost 1.0. So there's things coming, I think. Oh, yeah, here's one. New narrative setting. But new narrative setting doesn't sound like...
Yeah. I mean, that's like the scenario. So, like, when you play this game, you can choose. It's also one of those games, like, when you start a game, it's like, okay, what land do you want to be on? What scenario do you want to do? Like, you're setting all the parameters yourself.
Right.
It's not... doesn't feel like an adventure, like, in the least, right? You're just like, oh, I want to challenge myself to live in the desert biome, and I want to build the military base. That's the scenario I want to test myself on. And I'm going to give myself 3 survivors, and let's go. You know, like, that's not me. So, like... Again, this is one of those instances where this game is 100% not for me, despite the fact it did look like it was for me. But if you're the kind of person who wants to do this stuff and you like the just survive, do whatever you want, freedom, like this is that game. And I think it's pretty cool in that sense. But that is 1000% not what I was looking for. So I bounced. But it's not a bad game, not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the same thing for me, too. Yeah. If it had more of that emergent gameplay, like a Dwarf Fortress, and it was sci-fi, I'd be actually all in. But if Lucy's just daydreaming, that's not enough for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't. From what I saw, I didn't see any real suggestion that emergent stuff was going to happen. It just... Nah, I didn't think so. So, all right, that was kind of a bummer. But, you know, this may be of interest to people out there who like the way it looks. This is just not my jam. Anyway... Carlos, Bramble, the Mountain King. Very curious about this one. I like the look of the trailer. It looks kind of a spooky, maybe sort of a fairy tale sort of a thing. Lots of people in my feed are really grooving on it. So I'm very curious. What do you think of Bramble, the Mountain King?
Oh, man. I'm like wiping my brow because I'm so consternated. Is that a word?
It is, but what do you mean by that?
I don't know if I mean that. So I've been playing it for a while because I couldn't talk about it because I had a code. So now I'm excited to talk about it finally because it's officially out in the stores and everything. I'll tell you about the game in a minute, but I'm split on it. Like I'm full on, almost 50-50 split.
Okay.
Because for the longest time, and I mean like a week or 3 or 4 days at least, maybe 5, I was stuck and it wasn't out yet, so there's no help. And I think we had asked the developer like if they could help us, and they never got back to us. But like, I mean, I just couldn't play the game. And like full on stuck. But before it came out, as soon as it came out, of course, the internet had a walkthrough. I'm like, holy shit, you motherfuckers. The game just came out. There's a full walkthrough on YouTube.
Okay.
But I went there, and thanks to the YouTuber, let's look it up. I don't want to mess this up. Where is it? Sharako with 2 R's. Sharrako. Thank you very much, kind person. They had to walk through and they showed me how to beat the section, which I'll get to in my review.
Okay.
So that's why I was stuck for so long. I was like, I think I love this game, but I cannot play it. So what is this game? It is, really cool. Based on, I want to say, what kind of folklore? Do you want to look it up for me?
Yeah, I'll look it up. I don't know anything about it, but yeah.
It's like a mythical Nordic, Swedish something, and you'll tell me in a second. It's based on like this really interesting myths. Like fairy tales, right?
Yeah.
What's that? Like, there's that whole series about cursed fairy tales or something. It's like
dark
that.
Nordic fables.
Yeah, dark
Nordic is
fables.
what they're going after. Norse fables. Yeah.
So it's for the most part it's like left to right 2D game, but then you move around the environment sometimes and it's 3D. So it kind of mixes the two. There's a game like that. I mean, it's like Limbo. It's like Inside. Those games where it's generally left to right, but then lots of times you kind of go into the foreground and background.
Okay, gotcha.
That kind of thing.
Okay.
Actually, Limbo I don't think does that at all, but like other games like that, right? Trying to think of another example, but you kind of move around the environment, but you're going generally in one direction.
Yeah. That reminds me of What is that one where you're like a scary game where you're wearing that little yellow raincoat?
Oh, like Little Nightmares.
Little Nightmares, yeah, like that?
It's that vibe, yeah.
Okay.
Where you might go forward, you might go away from the screen, or you might go toward the screen,
Gotcha.
So you play as a little kid. Your sister goes missing. You're like in a little village, and you go out to find her. You eventually do find her right away, but then you're outside in this kind of weird, woods and stuff. And you kind of get separated again, and now you're just trying to find her. She gets captured, I think, at some point. And it's just amazing. I don't want to spoil it too much, but it starts off so like fairy tale-ish and cute and adorable in a way. Hans and Gretel thing. Like a vibe of like children, but there's like, there's some danger around the corner,
Yeah.
Red Riding Hood or something. And then when the danger hits, without spoiling too much, I'll tell a couple things. It's graphic as F. I mean, it is.
So it gets pretty dark.
Intense.
Like serious.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was not ready for that. The best example is at some point you might meet a little town of gnomes, like little gnomes. They're adorable.
Oh God, are they carnivores?
No. They're actually nice.
Oh, okay.
But at some point I'm walking with them, and this game has a lot of instant deaths. So basically the whole game is get through whatever screen you're on without dying. Sometimes it's nice and it's just jumping and it's just enjoying the environment. So which I like about this game a lot, right? You're just seeing this beautiful environment, you're meeting weird characters and stuff. But other times the whole idea is the screen is in danger. Like there's danger stuff all around. So the first real big danger was why it caught me off guard is after I meet the little gnomes and I've done like little mini games with them, I walk and they follow me to go to this next area and there's bear traps everywhere.
Oh, no.
And instantly a little gnome gets caught in one, and it shouldn't be funny, but it was.
Did you laugh at that senseless death?
Oh, he got chomped so bad. And then they would I couldn't like tell them not to follow me. So sometimes they would just run into him and just get snapped up and blood everywhere. Anyways, at some point there's like monsters and other characters that are bigger than the whole screen. Shadow of Colossus kind of thing.
Okay.
And it's all beautiful, man. This game is so beautiful. I don't know what they're doing. It's just rendered beautiful. It's got that fairy tale dark look to it. I mean, before I got stuck, I was like, I'm all in on this game. It's weird. It's got, folklore that I don't know about, which I always like. What's that game you played? You learned about a ton of like
Black Book. I learned about the
exactly.
Slavic. Man, that was great. Yeah,
that's what this feels like. I'm like, oh my! And then they actually do some backstory. Like there's this one character. I won't spoil too much. That's in a sea or a lake, and they tell the backstory of why that character is like horrific, and so then you kind of understand. You don't feel like just scared. And then there's like a butcher who's like literally chopping up like dead bodies, and you're like, what is this game? And then there's
this reminds me of Brothers a little bit.
And Brothers, yeah.
Okay,
Brothers vibe. But dark is like, it's much darker. And like at some point there's like this ability to shine this light, and that kind of has this like something you can fight back with. It's not like you're hurting enemies, but you can like use it to solve puzzles or get out of situations. And so anyways, I'll cut to the chase because I want people to play it. I'm still recommending it. But what happened is there was a section where you had to run from roof to roof of a house.
Yeah, okay.
And you know about the section?
No, I remember you telling me about it.
Oh,
and
okay.
I was like, okay, I was very curious to hear like how this resolved because
Yes.
PR never got back to us. And I realized that PR is busy and, all this stuff. But like it's kind of a bad look when you are kind of like looking into a game for coverage and you get stuck and you ask for help and they never get back to you. That's not great.
Well, I'm not going to put it on them because I still want people to play this game. I don't care. Sure. And Scirocco, thanks to you.
Yes, thank you very much.
But basically what I would do is, again, you can shine your light to do certain things. And so I'm not really a big fan of instant death. They pull it off pretty well because their save system's awesome. Like after you die, it's like you pretty much start where you were. Every once in a while, you have to backtrack a little bit. Most of the time, you start where we were. So there's these houses. As soon as you get on the houses, there's this huge plant that shines its light. If you get caught in the light, it's over, right? Vines take off the house and you're dead.
Yes.
But you can hide behind things like chimneys. So you hide behind chimneys, a shadow, you're fine. You get to a point where there's no cover besides like these little grass, like leaves or something. And then you have to shine your light to make a chimney fall down and then like hide behind it. But every time I do it, like it's impossible. Like the timing won't work.
Just
Like
the guy always gets you.
the guy always gets me, and I can never run that far. And I go, well, this is fucked. I watched Scirocco do it, and there's certain leaves you can crouch down in, and I had no idea you could.
What do you mean? Like there's a little like a
Like,
hiding space you didn't notice, or something?
They're on the roof, and they're like little grass pieces. But normally you would not be able to hide in those. You just get seen. But for some reason you can crouch down and you won't get seen.
Oh, so like you were like you were seeing where you were supposed to hide, but your brain didn't register it as a hiding place, and so you were hiding there.
No, because I think I've even played another like level where that didn't work.
Where it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So inconsistent hiding then.
Yeah. So, anyways, I hid and then was able to make it there and beat that whole section. So the game's fucking great. Like it's a weird, unique, one of a kind game that's dark and funny and just weird. And by the way, the only other mechanic is you can also you jump into first person sometimes to like look at your environment. And there's like some puzzle stuff like with that,
Gotcha.
like picking up objects. But man, it's just fucking cool, dude. I wanted to say that for a while because as soon as I started, I was like, what is this game? Holy shit. Weird. It's way too dark than it should be. But I like that. And it's just twisted, but I love it.
It sounds like a winner, man. I'm going to have to add this. In fact, I just typed up add to list because
Nice.
this one sounds like I want to get around to it.
And now
Kinda
you know,
keeping
because
tabs,
Scirocco
yeah.
helped us out, how you can beat
I will
that
not
one
get
section.
stuck because you helped me out, and Scirocco and you both hit me to that. So that sounds like a win. This sounds like one that people who listen to this podcast probably are going to be guaranteed to like. Would you say that?
Yeah, check it out. Yeah.
All right, okay. So listen, man, I'm going to do a quick detour here. I'm looking at the time, and I feel like we're on a little bit of a time crunch. My proposal to you in real time is that we skip the next two games. I got a quick one, and let's finish with the big one and wrap because I'm real concerned that I'm going to run out of time to do the stuff I need to do.
Yeah,
today.
let's do
You okay with
the
that?
big game at the end. Will take pretty much the whole time. Do you want to
Yeah,
just
let
jump
me-
to that?
I got to give one really like super quick one, and then let's do the big game, and then we're
Okay,
done.
okay.
We can bounce. Okay. And I'm writing these games down, folks. We'll get to them at some point. We will have to get to them, but not tonight. Tonight is not that night. I apologize.
Well,
We're
let me
really-
put an asterisk and tell
Yeah.
everybody, the listening audience, that I'm playing Star Wars Fallen Order
Yep.
because I'm going to be playing Star Wars Survivor, which gives you a little idea that I went back to it and am having a good time. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about both of those games, I think, next week.
Yeah, I think very possible. And just for full disclosure, I think I cut 4 other games from the agenda. So like we had like 6 other
Nice.
games to talk about.
Well,
but
we got next
cannot do
week
that
already.
tonight. Yeah, we got next week and stuff. So, okay. So really quickly, I want to talk about Varney Lake. This is a really short and sweet, but kind of intense visual novel. Just came out. It is the sequel to Mothman 1966, or is it Mothman 1966?
Mothman, I believe. Yeah.
I think it's Mothman
talked about it,
1966. I apologize. So this is the second in the Pixel Pulp series, and I think this stuff is just dynamite. It's really short. It's only like an hour, like at most. It tells the story of 3 kids on their summer vacation, and this is not much of a spoiler because it's right there in the title card and also in the info. They meet a vampire. And so it's just about what these 3 kids do with this vampire over summer vacation. It's not like what you think it is. Much like you just said about Bramble, it does get like suddenly dark all of a sudden and you're kind of thrown for a loop. It's very much like a choose your own adventure where you have got multiple choice points in the story and it can take you to different events. I think there's 4 or 6 different endings that you can get. I don't know how different they are because much like you, I play through and whatever happens is my canon and that's it.
Yeah,
I'm done.
totally.
I don't go back to do the other endings because that just doesn't work for me. But I think it's great. I feel like the pixel art is awesome. I feel like the mood and vibe is all on point. I love what they're doing. If they put out one of these like every 3 months, I would buy it and play it every 3 months, like no problem. Just like for the rest of my life. I think these are so fun. They're just like really, really concentrated bits of like dark, cryptozoology and mystery and alien stuff and vampires and whatever. I will say, full disclosure, the game makes more sense if you have played Mothman 1966. You don't have to, but they definitely reference stuff that happens in the first game. And there might be a few moments where you're like, who the fuck is this?
And why
if
not?
you-
I'm sure it's cheap, right?
Oh yeah. Like get them both, dude. Like
Yeah,
get them
just
both.
get 'em both.
Buy Mothman, play that. It's fucking great. And also, as a side note, Mothman 1966 comes up with one of the best card games I've ever played. It's called Impossible Solitaire. I was so fucking addicted to it, dude, that I got a deck of cards in real life and I started playing it in real life because it was so good. Impossible Solitaire comes with Mothman. Play Mothman. then play Varney Lake. It's kind of got that little Stand By Me Stephen King kind of vibe to it. It takes you like an hour. You'll have a good time. You'll love the art. This is a nice little treat. I just love it so much. So get those two things. They're great. Xbox, Switch, PS, PC. You can get it anywhere. I love Pixel Pulps. This shit is the best. So check it out.
They look cool. Check it out.
Check it out. Okay. We've cut everything else out of the menu in order to talk about this game now, which is still under embargo as of recording, but the embargo will drop May 1st at 5 p.m., and you can expect this podcast to go out pretty soon after that embargo drops. We are talking about Redfall, the new game coming.
Boom.
Yeah, coming from. Is it Bethesda and Arcane, or is it just Arcane? I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, Arcane and Bethesda Publishing, but they're
Are they
Xbox?
together?
I don't know. Hold on, I'll write it. I'll look it up.
Look it up. From Arcane Studios for sure. For some reason, I feel like I recalled seeing Bethesda's name.
Oh, well, yeah, but Bethesda's publisher, but it's like they're all Microsoft, right? So.
Yeah. So it's all under that. Anyway, coming from the same people that did, what else does Arcane do? What was that one you like so much that I
Dishonored.
Dishonored,
and,
yeah.
The Deadloop game. Is it Deadloop? No,
Deathloop.
Deathloop,
that one.
Yeah.
So basically, Redfall is kind of like the big Microsoft thing that they've been hyping for a while. Trailers have been coming out for a couple months. It's ostensibly it looks like kind of like a Left 4 Dead sort of a thing at first. The trailer shows 4 people, each with different powers. There's like a girl who can summon a ghostly elevator. There's a woman who's got like a little drone. There's a guy who's got like a glowing eye. And then there's also like a guy who I'm not even sure what his powers were. Just kind of nondescript or whatever. He looked charming. That was his power, I guess.
Nice.
And they go to this town that's been taken over by vampires. And so 4 of them together, of course, is like, the 4-player multiplayer angle. You go with some buddies, you go kill some vampires in this town and see what's what. So the publisher was kind enough to send us a couple of codes to check this out, which we have done. I have put in about, I want to say 4 hours. We just got the codes yesterday. Carlos, how much have you played?
Yeah, I think about the same. We'll be able to know when we talk about where we got to and stuff.
Okay.
You know how there's like a main story campaign, which is what we're playing?
Yes.
I think I got to the 3rd or 4th section there.
Okay.
It's like a little roadmap, and you can pick
is.
different ones. So I think I'm on the 3rd or 4th one of those.
Okay. I'm only on like the 2nd one, but I did like a bunch of side quests. There's a bunch of side quests in this game. So I kind of got wrapped up in side quests. But basically, so here's what happens. It is ostensibly a 4-player experience, but they are pretty clear about saying that there is you can play it by yourself. You can. I have not played with Carlos or anybody else. Carlos, you played by yourself, I assume.
Yep, I played solo, yep.
So solo is totally doable.
Yep.
You can solo it, no problem. I will say that the story campaign and your progress is tied to whichever character you pick first. So I picked the Indian crypto hunter, and his name is can't remember.
We should look this up. I'm going to look it up right now.
I'm just like, oh yeah, the Indian guy. He's really funny, and I like his voice actor. And he's got cool gadgets. I forget what his name is.
I'll look it up.
Who did you pick, by the way?
I picked the guy who goes invisible and has a crow.
The guy with the glowing eye. Okay, cool.
Yeah. But let's just call it that instead of actual names. No, it's Devinder is yours.
Is mine.
Cryptic Hunter, right? Cryptid Hunter.
Cryptid.
Verified cryptologist.
Yeah,
no.
he's not going after bored apes. He's going after Bigfoot. Yeah. Yes.
And I guess I am Jacob Boyer.
Okay, and he's got the crow and the glowing eye. Okay.
Yeah.
So your story campaign progress is tied to whichever character you pick first. You can jump into other games with that character, and I believe you can also switch between other characters as well for multiplayer or whatever, but your story progress will always be tied to the first person. So choose wisely. And then you get set loose into this town. I guess I have a lot of thoughts. I have a lot of... Man, I got a lot to say, and I'm not even sure where to start. Carlos, you got something you want to say right off the bat, or how do you want to tackle this?
I'll do a quick summary. Maybe you can do a quick summary too.
Okay.
And then I prepared, which actually will go pretty quickly, if you want to do it this way. I prepared a pros and cons list.
Okay, it's funny. I did the same thing.
Oh, did you?
I kind of did. Yeah.
It's mainly a cons list.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's
fair. And there is no pros.
No.
It's a cons list. I made a cons list.
Okay, that's a different list.
I've never made a cons list for any game, but on my phone while I was playing it, I just kept writing things down like, oh, that's weird that's the way that is.
Yes.
Oh, I don't like that. And then when I got to the end of it, I was like, oh, it's just cons. So, spoiler, that's my summary. I was let down. Obviously, the biggest, elephant in the room is the first party titles for Microsoft, the thing that I keep going back to, which, by the way, I know you poo-poo me bringing that up all the time, but we're going to have to go back to it again next week because
what is next week?
it's just on the podcast, because things are happening. And again, it's not Carl's fishing for Xbox to fail because, again, I have friends that work there. But there's some problems, okay? And this isn't a great part of the problems they're already having. So the fact is, the number one thing is the 30 frames per second. We'll talk about that in a second on the cons.
Sure.
That came out. That was the news item. But more importantly, I think as a summary, I just didn't have fun in the game. And yes, I can play multiplayer with somebody, and that might make it more fun. But again, you and I both generally don't play multiplayer. So
no, never.
I'm not going to come to a game for that. And I love Arcane. They also did Wolfenstein, remember?
Yeah.
And I liked all their DLC, and I loved what they do in the solo player world. I didn't like Deathloop, which was also very focused on multiplayer. Okay. So the multiplayer part might help. I will never figure that out because I'm not going to do that route. But what I played as my quick summary as a single player game feels like an online game that has a little bit of single player there, and it feels unfinished.
Interesting.
That's my summary.
So let me balance this out here because I did the exact same thing that you did. I went into this game knowing that you could play a single player and that I probably, I could play with my wife and son. That is a thing that could ostensibly happen. But for today, I knew I wouldn't be playing any multiplayer today, right? I didn't have the time for it. Mm-hmm. And when I started this game, I will say in no uncertain terms, it gets off on the wrong foot. It gives a very poor first impression. I was like you. I started making a cons list right off the bat. I got really frustrated. I don't think the opening mission, I think, is garbage. I don't think they do a good job of setting up the world. I don't think they do a good job of setting up the story. It's just they kind of just like stumble their way through the opening of the game, and it was really poor. I think this game also struggles with communicating to the player about what this game is and how they want you to play it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff the developers probably have in their heads that was not communicated, and it's interesting because I got a review guide when I got the codes for this. I didn't send it to you. I didn't even look at it until a little while ago. But when you look at the review guide, a lot of the stuff that I'm like, I felt like was missing from the game is actually in the review guide. So it's like, that doesn't do regular players any good. You need to put that stuff in your game. And it was such a miserable opening, honestly, that I had my son was watching over my shoulder, and I got really mad. I got really frustrated, and I was about to quit. And I'm like, look, hey man, you want to just take over and just fuck around, and maybe you can figure out what to do. And he did. Luckily,
nice.
He figured it out for me, and we got past the opening section, which was miserable. But he does not like this game very much at all. And it's funny because as I was constructing my cons list, I got a pretty significant cons list. It's like
so do
it's
I.
like 15, 20 items, right?
So is mine.
But I will say this. The longer I played this game, the more I liked it. And I actually feel like I kind of came around on it at the end. I don't think this is its final form. I feel like there's a million things wrong with it right now, but I kind of see what they're going for. And I ended up having a lot of fun with it. I think I'm going to keep playing it. And I think my biggest takeaway at the moment, and we can get into details in a second here, I think my biggest takeaway is kind of similar to yours, where I feel like the developers didn't quite commit to a direction. I feel like it's half of like a Dishonored sim, immersive sim.
Yep.
It's half of like an online buddy shooter run and gun sort of thing. It's half of like an open world game. But it's also half, I realize this is 4 halves. I'm not great at math.
Yes.
I realize it's half of like, just some kind of a weird, like more arcadey experience. I feel like they just did not pick a direction. And I think that the overall game suffers for it. But once I got through the miserable first mission and started doing the side missions and messing around a little bit, I genuinely started having more fun. And I definitely think I'm higher on it than you are right now.
Well, I think that part of the half and the half and the half stuff.
4 halves. It's
4 halves. That's how math works. My asterisk was going to be, and kind of a, not positive, but something, is I just think it's the perfect example of, again, Microsoft being under the gun to deliver, and that means Arcane's under the gun to deliver, right? And I don't think they had enough time. It's that classic story of like, hey, we already slipped, like, you know what I mean, a bunch of times,
sure,
or at least a couple of times. The fans are foaming at the mouth. They need a title for us, you know. And I just think it's not done. Like if you look at some of the stuff I'm going to talk about on my cons list, it's just not an unfinished game. But we'll get to the cons list in a minute. But I'm saying the positive is that I'm not going to blame fully the developers because it really feels to me like a rush job. Where the fact is, yeah, it hasn't picked a direction. It's an online game with a single player campaign, like I said. And by the way, this isn't my cons list, but I'll talk about it here. You know, it's one of those games where you can't pause it.
Oh, which sucks.
Do you know what I mean? Which
I
is
hate
fucking
that so
bullshit.
bad. I hate it.
Because if you're saying I'm playing it single player, you're not then. You're saying like, oh, this is really an online game, but you can't, you know what I mean? Like
I am in a solo instance,
yes,
as opposed to I am playing a single player game. Yeah,
which again speaks to what you said and speaking to what I said. It just doesn't feel like it's picked its lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's do the con list so we can get this pain over with.
Okay. Let's do the con list. Sure, you go.
We'll
ahead
do
first.
one. We want to do 1 and 1 or just all one.
Let's do 1 and 1.
Ooh, this is fun. I don't want to revel in this. I wanted this to succeed, and it might in the future. Here's our cons list.
Well, and spoilers, I'm going to end up high on it anyway. So
I don't know how that's possible. Okay,
we'll get to it. Go ahead.
So first off, 30 frames per second. It does cause a problem. It's always been an issue for me anyhow. I didn't want it to be. I was like, it'll be fine. But the minute I started spinning around, because this game wants you to be fast and running around and shooting things, in general, I got a little dizzy with the 30 frames. I didn't like it.
Okay. That didn't bother me at all. The 30 frames,
I didn't think it would.
Not even an issue for me. But what did bother me, doesn't even bother me. The control sticks. Oh my God. I could not get the camera and control to a part where I felt like it was comfortable and natural. I feel like I am constantly fighting the stick. There's like too much of a dead zone on the right stick.
Oh, weird. See, I didn't have a problem with that at all.
Oh my God. Like it drives me up the fucking wall. Like I cannot, I've tweaked. I think there's like 2 or 3 different settings you can tweak that have to do with the camera and the stick motion. Weird. I've been fucking with it all day constantly and I cannot get it to a place where it feels comfortable, which is weird because in most games, not an issue. And this one, it is like nails on chalkboard to me.
Okay. Wait, mine, I didn't have a problem with that. Interesting.
Okay. All right.
The graphics did stutter for me, so not even 30 frames per second, but it actually stuttered. Like,
okay,
it dropped to like 4 or 5 frames. Like, and I don't know why.
I did not have that experience, but I believe you.
Also, graphics in general for me, unfinished. Like, literally texture maps not on things.
Really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah. Again, I immediately went to the docks or whatever where all that mud was. I don't know if that's part of the first mission. I did like a stealthy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as going along the wall, there was like little sections of graphics that were just pop in there. They weren't even like finished graphics.
Interesting.
Again, it's not the whole world. It's got a good vibe to it. But like,
do you have the X or the S? What do you have?
I have the X.
The X. I have the X too. I didn't notice any of that.
I could show you the place. I can screenshot it.
I mean, I believe it.
There's many
sections.
It's just like if you are like me, where I'm like a Hawkeye for like graphics, you know?
Sure.
Anyway, so that's one thing. Go back to you.
All right. For me, okay, so this is interesting because this game, in some ways, really takes a lot of strides towards accessibility. And I want to respect that, and I want to thank them for that. Because before you start the game, you get to the accessibility menu, which is the proper thing to do. So good Arcane. Like, so many times, like you'll start a game and the subtitles are not on the opening cinematic. You miss it and you don't know what they're saying. You got to go back, watch it again, whatever. Like it's shitty, and I really appreciate that. But some of the omissions in the accessibility are so fucking enormous, like it blows my mind. So I'll tell you, you can have subtitles and you can have captions. Subtitles is just like people talking. That's all. Captions is like when you hear like, oh, car engine revs or hawk shrieks or something. Okay. So like you're walking around in the world and you'll hear the subtitle will come up. It'll say, vampire laughs menacingly or something, or there'll be a quote of like, oh, I can see you. I have no idea where that sound is coming from.
I don't either. I have the same con.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know where any enemies are. I got headphones on. I can't tell where anybody's coming from. They're, until you're getting shot, and you die pretty quick in this game. So it's like, I'm walking around, it's dark, there's no enemy outlines, I don't have a ping. Maybe your guy does, because your guy's got the eye. Maybe that's his job or something.
I'm not using that ping.
Well, you got useless. A bird, right? The bird is supposed
he's
to...
He's useless, so sorry.
Okay. Oh, well, that's okay. But for me, it's like I'm walking around, I don't know where anybody is. I need directional indicators, and I think that currently the standard set is, I think, for Fortnite. Fortnite does it the best, where you can turn on the deaf and hard of hearing mode, and it gives you like a little directional indicator where sound is coming from. Gunshots, cars,
those little vibrations, remember, and stuff too?
I don't have any vibrations. I don't like
No, not vibrations. I mean, like it shows like a little visual vibration thing.
Yeah, like it gives you like a little visual indicator in 360 degrees of where the sound is coming from. like I don't know where anybody is. I am constantly getting shot in the back. I am constantly getting like surprised, and I don't know where people are. That's a huge problem for me. And I think if you're a deaf person playing this game, you're going to be constantly like surprised the entire game through. It sucks. I hate it.
And on top of that, it's like we already said, like we were kind of confused with the story. So like they kept mentioning Hollow Man and stuff.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Is this
Same.
a voice in my ear? Do I have a radio? You know?
Yes.
That's real bad. Again, doesn't seem finished. Okay, I agree with you.
Is that your con or no? You got another con?
That's a con. I'll just take it off my list if I.
That was a bonus con. All right.
If we have one the same, I'm just taking it off my list.
Go for it.
No dodge. What the fuck? No dodge?
Yeah.
Multiplayer game?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go against other people, and I'm just gonna have to like crouch or like jump or use my abilities.
Yes.
And the slide also, I didn't put this down, but the slide's shit. Like, so if you run
might as well
and
not
dodge,
even be
might as well not even be there. Okay, go ahead.
No stealth kill? Am I wrong? Like
I didn't stealth kill anything yet. Nope.
I tried. So like they start the game out and they kind of give you that immersive sim thing where when you get to the end of the first mission, I guess, they're like, oh, here's a firehouse. You can blow your, you can go in guns blazing in the front. You can sneak in the roof.
Right,
you can go in the back. They kind of give you that whole do whatever you want kind
like
of
in Dishonored.
thing.
Yeah,
like in Dishonored.
Yeah.
So I try to stealth somebody. I'm gonna do like a multi-con, I guess. I'm trying to be sneaky. I have no idea how sneaky I am. Can they see me? Can they not see me?
Yeah,
I have no clue.
Yeah.
And, so I'm trying to sneak. I come up behind a guy. No stealth kill. I just punch him in the back. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. What is going on? Like, how can I possibly play things the way I want to play and be sneaky and stuff when there is no stealth and there's no stealth kill?
Dude, I did the same thing at the firehouse. I crouched and I got behind him. And then he just slowly turns around and he's like, so what's up, buddy? I'm like,
and you just like
I'm
punch
just
him in the
gonna
gut or
shoot
something.
you. Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, that punch is OP sometimes, and sometimes it does nothing.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
These are a lot of cons. Okay.
Keep going. I'm going
to
end high. I'm going to end
on
a high note.
There's no world where that should happen. Okay.
I agree.
Dude. Okay. This is working my last nerve. This is going to give me an eye headache. Okay.
Oh no.
You have to hold down, not even press down. Hold down on the digital pad to heal. Yes. Are you shitballing me? And I just made that phrase up.
Why does that bother you so much?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
In the middle of the heat of battle, it's fucking hard to do. What other game do you play where that's normal?
I mean, Days Gone does that. My wife just is playing it right now.
Days Gone is a slow game where you're kind of like just doing stuff and getting the lay of land. It's a different type of game. This is a Twitch shooter, especially for you multiplayer. I can't see any world where you think that makes sense. Digital pad.
That makes it strategic to me where you got to be in a place where you can hold on for a minute and
bullshit.
It does.
We will agree to disagree on that.
It doesn't bother me too much.
You hold down though. Have you not died from holding down heal with zombies or vampires attacking you?
No, I usually run away and I find a place or something. No, it hasn't been
running
an issue
away
for me
and finding a place to heal is bullshit in a game like this. But go ahead. That's my con.
All right, my next con. Too much item pickup. There is too much crap you need to pick up. Like, I don't think that is a real valuable thing. You pick up food items to heal yourself, and you pick up junk like duct tape and wire and cloth, and that just adds money to your list, which I get. You need to, resources, in-game economy. Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, we're all in this surviving vampire apocalypse together, but the gun dealer still is going to charge me money. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whatever. But I wish you could just like hoover it up automatically. I don't want to like click and click and click and click and click and click and click on all these tiny little things that are scattered around the environment. It's too annoying. And plus with my unpleasantness with the camera, that sucks as well. I wish you could just like walk over it. It's like, I think you walk over the ammo and it picks it up, but you don't pick up like the items.
True. Yeah.
It's like, this is horseshit. Like, get rid of that. It's a waste of time.
I agree. And in a game like Fallout or something like that, I would enjoy doing that, but I don't know what any of that stuff I'm doing, what that stuff does when I pick it up. Besides money, like I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not a great feeling.
To that point of the money thing, you have to buy your health kits. Fuck off.
You do.
Sometimes
you do. Not always. Sometimes.
You find some, obviously. But the point is, I went there and they're like 750 whatever, coin, dollar, whatever. I was like, it's just too much. That's insane. Just give me, like, refill it when I go back to base.
You should. I think that if you go to the safe house, you can get some free ones. It's like sometimes you pay for them, sometimes you don't. It feels a little bit inconsistent to me. You do pay for them at the firehouse, but you don't pay for them in the safe house. So I don't know why that is. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
It's weird. for me, let's see. I feel like enemies are like every enemy in this game is a hyper alert sniper. I don't know if you've had this experience where like I'll try to take somebody out and like all of a sudden everybody in the area is alerted. Everybody can see me from a mile away. I just feel like you're always playing the sniper game. Like you're never really like approaching it. And there's no real melee weapons or anything. I don't have anything melee. Do you have a melee weapon?
I use
No?
that punch and it feels terrible.
Yeah, the punch is like the only thing. Or if you have a gun with a stake at the end of it, that qualifies, but only against vampires. You can't really use it. So there's no melee. And so I feel like you're always like, I'm wanting to engage people from as far away as possible because everybody can always know where I'm at. They always see me. I've never had an instance where they didn't know where I was and they're just picking me off at range. That is dumb. Like there needs to be a place where they miss more. They don't know where you are. You need to employ some surprise mechanics to kind of get the drop on people. I don't feel like that's really well done.
I don't think it is either, but you just made me come up with a new one, and then after this, we're going to do two at a time, so we can
You
finish
gotta get
this.
through them.
Okay, you just made me think of a new one, which is back to our original idea of this being kind of like, or my idea of not unfinished. It just feels like the map has bad dudes and vampires, and they're just random. Like they're just walking around all over the place. They see you, like you said, immediately, and then you're just fighting them. So it just feels like you're cleaning them out. Like a multiplayer game. So, anyways, there's the jump is weak. It's like gravity is heavy or something.
Yeah,
I think the jump is shit, and the dodge is non-existent. And I'll also say the abilities. The whole idea of this game so far, I've got 2 out of the 3. So maybe the third one is the magic number.
Okay.
But the crow does almost nothing. It tags enemies, which I should do in any game. Right?
Sure.
Any game
that's
has
like
tagging.
that's a basic ability.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the other one's invisibility, which I used a couple times to get away from a vampire, but like I don't need it because basically I'm just shooting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So I don't like my abilities and the game about abilities.
Yeah. So okay. So to go along with that, I think that the game really struggles with communicating what it wants you to do. I think that's one of the biggest cons. I think is like they just don't seem to know how they want you to approach it, and then you don't really quite know what to do. Like, I don't know. Is it a run and gun? It feels like a run and gun, but sometimes it feels like you want me to be stealthy and careful. I got to pick up all these items like a Fallout game, and Fallout's not run and gun, but sometimes it feels like it's half of this and half of that and like, whatever. So I feel like the game is really poor at teaching you how to play with it. And it wasn't until like after 2 or 3 hours when I started to experiment and figure things out on my own that I'm like, okay, I think I know what the rhythm of this game is now. You could have just told me a lot of this stuff beforehand. Like you could have told me a lot of these interesting details about how the systems work and all this like really important stuff. But I think the story, like kind of like you said, is really poorly told. I don't want to pick up notes. I never want to pick up notes.
I
in a
never
game
want
like
to pick
this.
up notes. No.
Too many notes. And like, I don't understand who the Hollow Man is. I don't understand what happened. Like there's like, these mercenary guys, but there's also cultists, but there's the Hollow Man, but then there's vampires. Who's working together? Who's not working together? What is my role in this? Like it all just seemed to happen all of a sudden. I thought this thing literally just went down, and all of a sudden there's like this entrenched sides going on, and like the story doesn't make any sense at all.
No.
And the only way that I enjoy the story is if I approach it kind of like the original Dead Island, where it's like my base is the fire station, and I'm talking to survivors, and I'm going on missions in the town. That feels pretty good to me. But the overall story is just like a mess, dude.
Yeah, and to the story point, I agree with you. The cutscenes are 3D models that are paused. What?
Yeah.
What? Talk about unfinished. It feels like a mobile game or something like out of the olden, like 3D models that are paused. What is that? What is the point?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
couple other things really quickly. If you die, the fast travel is pretty rough. Like, cause I couldn't unlock this one place because I couldn't figure out how to put power on that house or whatever.
Oh, couldn't unlock the safe house.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. And if you didn't do that, then you can't fast travel. So then when I died a few times, you go really far back.
Yeah.
So I just hated the fact that I had to backtrack for a long time because I didn't feel like I was running fast in a game that they really, again, focused on like cool abilities and jumping around the screen. I just felt like I was walking back to the crash site. That sucked. And then one other really quick thing on the weapons. My best weapon right now is a handgun.
Is it really?
It's
You haven't found any better than
easily
that?
OP. It's there's this. I found this one specific handgun. There's like levels of fucking.
Yeah, there's like blue, purple,
green, blue,
gold,
purple, yeah.
green, whatever. Yeah.
It's not gold. It's not purple or anything. It's like I think it's just green, blue or green or something.
Okay.
And it just never misses. I'm doing headshots with my handgun. Yeah, I think I thought it said hand cannon. Yeah, I mean, there's one that like you shoot, what's it called, the spear, and it comes back or whatever, and you got to reload it. That's like an instant kill, but it's like super slow. The machine gun's super slow. I don't know. There's all these things that just don't feel good to me. I just don't, again, like anything about what I'm doing in the game with the combat. My best gun's a handgun.
It's interesting because they have that syndrome of where you're constantly picking up guns all the time, which is really weird in a game like this. That feels like a very arcadey run and gun sort of thing, but it kind of feels at odds with like the other rest of the game. But
Well, it's for the multiplayer, right? It's for the multiplayer.
I mean, I guess, but like I don't want to go through equipment that fast. That seems kind of that's never something I'm really a big fan of. But okay, so let's
last two each.
Go. I don't have any more cons.
Okay.
I want to end big. So you
can I
do
add
your last cons?
two last cons? Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, you have to use a shotgun with a stake in it in the beginning because you have to use the stake to kill the vampires.
Sure. Any gun with a stake. There's multiple that have stakes on them. Yeah.
The vehicles only exist to blow them up.
Yes, there's no cars or anything. Yes.
No, but they're there, and you can only use them to blow them up.
That's
their purpose.
You can get stuff out of the trunk.
Yeah. Anyways, and then that's I T-posed on a menu. In the menu.
In the menu. That's funny.
I was like, I've never seen that before. And tell me your positive thing to end this on.
Okay, so this was quite a long list of cons, right? From me, from Carlos. I think it's pretty clear that this game needs a little bit more work. It doesn't feel finished. It doesn't feel like it has a clear direction. But here's my thoughts on it, right? So like, here's what I like about it. What I like about it is I like my character, Devinder. I think he's pretty funny. I like his voiceovers, and I think that I am approaching this game very much like the original Dead Island. And what I mean by that is you have a home base. You're in a town, which is essentially open world. They give you kind of these missions. You can go out and choose whichever one you want to do. Now, these systems don't really work that great, right? Like I struggle with some of the getting around surfaces, and you can't stealth and stuff. So it's not like all super dialed in or anything like that. But I do kind of like just kind of learning the town, doing the missions, getting to know the people back at the base a little bit. So I think that works pretty well. I like Devinder's powers. He's got some pretty cool powers. He has a teleporter, which gets him up to high places, which is really useful because verticality is sometimes a thing. Or you can even throw it down if you need to get down a big thing. That really helps a lot. He's got a spear that he can throw at long distance to take out clusters of guys. Also really useful. Haven't unlocked his third power yet, but it's coming. So I feel like he's pretty good on his own in combat. That's pretty good. And I'm just enjoying, like once I got better guns and once I got a little bit more survivability, took out a few more vampires, leveled up a few times. I'm like, okay, like I'm not dying right off the bat. I feel like I'm kind of like making my way in this town. So I feel like that part of me kind of connecting with the character eventually, not the story so much, but just the character and my immediate situation and getting in touch with the town and kind of learning that and kind of making the town my own feels pretty good. So I like that. I am enjoying it. I will keep playing it, and I don't know that I'll finish it, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. So I'm definitely going to put some more time in. Maybe I'll get my son to play with me or something. Who knows? But here's where I think the game could be better. Right? I'm not convinced that going the 4-player focus was the right choice, and I realize that's like a big focus of the game. Maybe that's a big statement, but I feel like this game could be a lot more fun to me anyway, and maybe not to other people, but to me, maybe to you, probably to you. Is if they had given you just one character, maybe even make your own character or maybe just somebody else, but, do just the traditional single player campaign and give us more powers. Let us, level up in a traditional game and just to interact in this town against the vampires on our own terms. Like maybe I want one power from this character. I want this other power from this character. I want to have, not so many guns. I'm not cycling through guns all the time. Like invest a little bit more in the powers that you've got, connect with the character a little bit more, connect with your weapons a little bit more, and feel a little bit more ownership of what's happening. And when you finally take the town back, I mean, that's a pretty good feeling. That's like exactly what all the Far Cry games are built on, is like taking territory back. I mean, that's a proven game mechanic that people love. And I kind of like it here too, even though it's not exactly the same thing, not as well done. I just think a traditional single player campaign would have worked better for what they're going for, because that way you could focus more on the stealth. You could focus more on, like just making all these different systems work. I feel like you have all of the powers of one character split between 4 people, and so none of them really feel quite good enough to play on their own. So you're kind of like making up for it, but they didn't go that route, unfortunately. Maybe they'll shore that up a little bit later on. But what I've played so far, I think once I got past the rough edges, the miserable first mission, learning the systems that they did not bother to explain to me, and putting up with a lot of the weirdness that we just talked about. I mean, it sounds bizarre, but I am kind of having a good time with it.
It does sound bizarre. I feel like I just listened to Bizarre World radio broadcast.
Like it's Stockholm Syndrome or something, right?
Yeah. So, okay, that's your piece, and you've said it. I'll say my piece real quick.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like, and this is kind of a positive thing in a way, if this was like an indie game that was V1, like we talked about with Stranded,
Yeah.
and it was out on Steam, and there was no hype behind it, and it wasn't Arcane, and it wasn't Xbox's last hope, or not last hope, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't so much riding on it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a little bit different review from both of us, probably. I know me personally, because I'd be like, I'd approach it like you, like, oh, it's this kind of weird sandboxy game where you just go in and fuck around and there's vampires. Interesting. But it wasn't billed as that. It's billed as this huge motherfucking epic game that is mainly, to your point and to their point probably, is a multiplayer game. Like,
Yeah.
this is first and foremost a multiplayer game. They were like, oh yeah, we have to put single player in there because people still like that from us and our studio. But it's, again, it doesn't feel like it's anything. It's just an unfinished bit. It's just like a segment of stuff. So yeah, I think if it was an indie game V1 on Steam, I would probably look at it differently. But it's hard to do that because it's this huge game on Xbox, and also doesn't really run how they said it would. Again, I know it doesn't bother you, but for some of us out there, and I'm sure people listening will agree with me, you know, your eyes get used to something, and it just kind of freaks me out. Like I don't like it. You know, it doesn't feel fast enough for me. So 60 frames aside, for me, I just don't have any fun at all in the world, even with what you're saying with the character. Like, I don't know who's talking. I don't even know my own character's talking. My character, by the way, told my crow to fuck off or something.
What?
Yeah, my crow who's helping him. He was like, get on that, you shit ass or something. He was mean to him. And I was like,
That's not cool.
I don't even like my own character now. So I don't like anything about this game. I'm never a negative person on video game reviews, but I literally can't almost say anything good about it. Like, I'd rather play anything else, especially like what it got me to play is like, I went back to Dead Island 2 because it was a first person game with, like, you know, picking up shit and killing things.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that game, at least I can figure out what the story is, and there's characters that I understand what the fuck's happening, even with all my problems with that game. But this game, I just don't know when I'm doing anything. I just feel like I'm in an unfinished V1 game on Steam that is interesting, like Rust or something, you know? And I'm like, oh, this is kind of a thing, but I don't care. I could not care less.
I mean, that's fair, dude. That's fair. And, you know,
and I never say that, as you know.
I mean, no, that's true. You are Mr. Positive.
Yeah.
And you must really be having a miserable time.
I made a cons list. I never did that either.
Yeah, you did. There was no pros on that, which I get. And, you know, I'm not saying you're wrong on any of this. I mean, I think that everything you called out was stuff that I agree with. But I think, for me anyway, my expectations were not as high. And I think, you know, expectations are important. We always say that on this podcast. But for me, I kind of see what they were going for. And I can kind of see, like, the shape of things. Again, I don't think multiplayer was really the right way to go with this one. But I see the core of it. It definitely needs work. It definitely doesn't feel finished and polished. It doesn't feel as pointed as it needs to be. A lot of direction one way, a lot of direction the other way. It kind of feels like it's trapped in a middle zone, which doesn't really work too well. But I'm going to give it some more time, and I'm going to see how it keeps going. Like I said, I don't know if I'll finish it, but I do want to see a little bit more of it. I'm going to at least unlock the third power. I want to at least open up more of the map a little bit and see what happens. I started finding new vampire types. I started finding a couple new weapons that are kind of fun. So, you know, is that going to be enough to save it? Probably not. But I don't think it's a complete wash for me. And I am curious to see how they build on it in the months to come.
And in my opinion, what they'll build on is the multiplayer, and they'll make it 60 frames per second. And this will be what the single player game feels like to us. It'll be a sandbox. That is what it's, I think, again, meant to be, to their credit or whatever. That's moves smoothly, has a lot of powers, although my powers I feel like are ass so far. And you'll fight other friends and people online. Like, that's what this game's going to be. Looter shooter for real. And the single player is, you know, take it or leave it. I don't know if that's going to get, I don't think that's their focus. So I don't think it's going to get fixed. I love Arcane, and I'm putting that out there. I played every single one of the games and beat every single one of the games, except Deathloop, which I didn't beat because fuck that game. I really didn't like what they did with
all
that.
of them except that one, and fuck that one.
Well, yeah, because I played all the other ones and beat all of them. Wolfenstein and all the DLC for Wolfenstein I loved. But it's just like, that's what you're talking about. That's the care of making a single player game and knowing what the fuck the story's about and characters, blah, blah, blah. They can do that, but they just weren't tasked that. You know, I think they were tasked to make something quick, under the gun. They didn't have enough time, and this is what we got. And it's it's going to be probably better for multiplayer at some point.
All right. Well, no one knows the true story. Maybe we'll get a behind the scenes at some point. We'll figure out what happened. Maybe that is what happened. We don't know for sure. But
we'll see.
I definitely, this title definitely has some problems. That is confirmed. But in a strange twist, Carlos is the one that does not care for it. And I think I'm a little higher on it. So you never know what's going to happen on this show, folks. There's no guarantees.
Dude, I can't believe you're okay with digital down on the D-pad for heal. I'm just blown away by that. I'm blown away. I literally died from a vampire because I was trying to hide and push down on the D-pad. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Anyway. All right, folks. That is a show. Anything before we wrap, Carlos? Anything at the end here?
No, but for you and for the audience, King of Collectibles just came out on Netflix, and you're a collectible guy. It's a documentary type thing. So
okay.
I thought you'd check it out. It's not just about, I don't think it's about toys, but it's like collectibles. I don't know. I just saw it. So I will
check it out. I haven't even heard of it, so we will check that out.
And right after this podcast, I'm going to start Love and Death, which is the, what's her name, Olsen lady? Elizabeth Olsen?
Elizabeth Olsen?
Yeah. From WandaVision. She's in a new series on HBO, and I'm very excited about that. I think it's going to be very good. Love and Death. I'm going to watch it.
All right, excellent. All right, we're going to wrap this up. We're going to get out of here in record time. Folks, thank you very much for listening. Really appreciate you. And as always, we'd love to get your questions and comments. Hit us up. SoVideoGamesPodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @SoVideoGames, on Instagram @SoVideoGamesPodcast. Hit us up individually as well. Carlos, where can we direct your traffic this week?
A Lot of Things Podcast on TikTok.
All right. As for me, I'm on all the social medias. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And this is going to do it for our Rush Job episode 333. Thank you very much again for joining us here on the So Video Games podcast, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. And it was 334.
Damn it. It was 334.
Yeah, but that's okay. Now we just adjusted it.
All right. Bye-bye.